we locked in. It's the Wheel1 podcast. Your boy Master Twice got a special guest in the cut right here. This is Casey right here, as you can see. Hold on.
Hi.
Trying to get the mic out of her face. Look at that. Oh. Wait. There we go. A little technical difficulty. We're locked in though. We're still locked in. Now, Casey, introduce yourself to the people.
So hi, I'm Casey, and I'm a creative designer, work in film production, and I'm happy to be here and talk something about myself.
Yeah. You know, it's always good. It's always good to get the story out. Now, the way we start, we kind of like to start at the beginning. Like I said to everyone, this is like, all right, this is Big Casey right now.
Yeah.
Like, you know, let us know about like little Casey. Like, what was she doing? What was going on? Where you grew up? All that kind of stuff. Let us know.
So I was born and raised in Hong Kong, and I just moved here around 1.5 years ago, and I study advertising in college.
Okay. Now I kind of got to get into a little bit, just like the life living in Hong Kong. Like, how was it growing up there? Like, you know, what are like one of your like some of your childhood memories of like growing up in Hong Kong?
For me, Hong Kong is a really stressful place where it's really crowded and packed because it's like skyscrapers everywhere, and it's so much different from a lot of people in here where you gotta have the time and freedom to develop your hobbies, like playing basketballs, playing sports, drawings, or something like that. Because for me, I was in a pretty strict family, so they want me to like try playing piano, try doing ballets, try doing this and that.
The classical stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you're in like an Asian culture, in an Asian family, they have a lot of things that they want you to achieve.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So like, how did you kind of like navigate that then? Because it kind of does like sound, like you said, like a little stressful because the pressures that are put on you, like, you know, just as a kid too.
Yeah, so after I gave up on like all the ballet and piano stuff, I found my passion in sports. I actually sprint, like I was a sprinter in track and field, and then I used to love using Bolt as like an idol because he ran super fast at those years.
You gotta do a little Bolt
exactly. And then I love track and field. I love running, and then I also have a couple of friends who play basketball with me in high school.
Okay.
So I kind of find myself like more like a sporty person.
I love that. Now, what brought you into basketball? Because, you know, because I love basketball too. So like, what made you say like, all right, nah, this is the one for me. This is the sport. I love it.
Because I remember before I ran into some of my friends who also play basketball, my dad used to like teach me how to shoot.
Okay. You know, a little form shooting.
Yeah, and I realized that, well, I might be a pretty good shooter in basketball, and that's how I got like the satisfaction of playing basketball.
I mean, that is true. That's like almost like an instant gratification when you shoot, it goes in, and you're like, I guess I'm kind of good at this. You know? Exactly.
I like doing this every afternoon after school, and it's got me so good at it. Like,
I know exactly what you mean. Just the hours are just, you're just working on it and everything, and then you're just like, this feels good. Then when you're playing, you're letting it go, you're like, oh yeah,
True.
They can't guard me, you know?
I also like the teamwork in basketball.
Honestly, it's kind of funny because I say this to a lot of people. I feel like basketball taught me a lot of life lessons. Yeah. And especially like we said with the teamwork thing, because like you learn how to work with other people because you have to. It's not an individual sport, so you literally have to work with others. And even if you don't get along, or maybe you have different motivations, you can find the ways to still motivate each other and come together for an ultimate goal, which is like a beautiful thing when you really think about it.
Yeah, exactly. Especially I remember when I had like all the competition, like we called it like inter-school competition, and then sometimes you have to motivate the teammates that's like they're like so down and they wanted to give up, but then you can just motivate them and tell them that we can actually do it.
Yeah, it's like, it don't matter. There's still time on the clock. Like, you know, it's one of those ones. And like, Yeah, that's what I loved about basketball, honestly. It just kind of just captivated me, drew me in like that.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm glad that I'm not the only one that feels that way, of course. So, now that we're kind of talked about some hobbies that you had growing up, you know, let's get into, like, some other ones, because like I said, you know, real sporty and all. But, like, with the piano and everything, like, can you actually play still? Or, like, was that, like, something, like, you weren't liking, I don't want to do this no more?
Nah, I think I can only play Happy Birthday song. I feel like that's all I learned from that. Because I stopped playing piano since 7.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So, like, all right, other than the sports, right, what were some things that you just gravitated to, like, as a kid, especially growing up in, like, Hong Kong, where you're like, I love this. This is just kind of my thing.
I feel like music probably be one of my passion. Like, not instruments, but I love singing as a kid.
Okay. Who's your favorite artist? Who's your favorite artist right here?
Wow, that's really
because, like, this is an interesting question. Because, like, I'm pretty sure that, like, your genres of music is expansive, just with, like, living here and then growing up back home. So it's like, who, when you think of it, like, the first couple come to your mind where you're like, oh yeah, these ones are.
So I listen to a lot of underground indie stuff too.
Okay.
So I can name a few concerts that I went to, even like this year. I love Flip Turn.
Okay.
I like, there's one called Dead Poet Society.
Okay.
They're more like rock indie songs, but
okay.
I like a lot of different genres of music. I also listen to like hip hop, jazz sometimes. It really depends on my mood.
I feel you. Because that's the thing about music. It's all a mood thing, right? And, like, even me, like, it's just funny. Like, I think if people really listen to my playlist, they would be surprised on, like, what song plays after another song. It's like, goes from one extreme to the other. You know, might be like some outrageous, ridiculous hip hop, and then out of nowhere, it's just like early 2000s rock song.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it just flips like that.
Because me and my friends, she loves driving and listening to music, and I remember last time her playlist was exactly like that, like hip hop song, and then switch to classical, and then I'm like, what's happening here with your playlist?
Hey, that's just how it goes sometimes. It does depends on your mood. Like, you know, I even sat through I listened to, like, Andre 3000. He's a rapper from Outkast, and he had a flute album. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna tap in. And to be honest, I kind of liked it. You know, I do wish he probably said something on a beat. Because I always like, well, I love hearing him rap. But, like, in general, though, like, it was just a different kind of vibe. And I felt it was more on, like, those days you kind of just want to meditate and be in the zone, and you don't want to, like, hear that extra stuff. It would be perfect for that. So I know exactly what you mean. It's just kind of a mood thing, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Just, like, you know, you kind of switch it up, and whatever you're feeling, you just go with it. So talking about some of those concerts too, like, are you a big concert goer on a regular basis?
I am. I'm like emptying my bank account for concerts, for sure. Because I literally go to concerts almost every 3 weeks.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So, like, does it matter exactly who's performing, or is this just, like, live music, we gotta go see this?
I usually have both.
Okay.
Like, there's some artists that I want to see, so I got the tickets. And then there's also some that I like to explore about the local music stuff.
Okay.
Because I like supporting, like, local small business, small artists, because I feel like there's the motivation for them as well, and to appreciate more different artists.
I mean, that's always a big thing, right? Is that appreciation of the things that just don't get the shine for the most part. So it's always great that you do that. Now, I kind of do want to get back into, like, you know, you growing up in Hong Kong and everything, and just, like, can you tell us the difference, like with, like, societal wise, like, you know, in that you've noticed from back home and with living here now? Yeah,
for sure. I feel like in here, especially in, like, a Western culture, a lot of people are really expressive. And of course you're really polite and nice, most people in here. And a huge difference about that in Hong Kong is people are kind of cool in there. Like, they don't ask how are you. We don't have that.
Oh, that's not a saying?
Yeah. So you can basically go out and no one ask or talk to you for the whole day. Even if you go out and hang out with, especially like alone, you can just be silent all the time.
That's interesting, because like I don't even know if I would like that or if it would drive me crazy after a while, because I'm so used to like someone's gonna be like, oh hey, how you doing, like just
how's your day.
It's like maybe they don't even care, but it's just the thing to do. Well, it's like what you're saying over there, you don't even have a saying that's like, hey, how you doing?
Because I always feel nice when people ask like, oh, how are you, how's your day? Because in Hong Kong you definitely feel like no one cares. That's really how I felt last time I went back for visiting, like last year, like last May, I believe.
Okay.
And when I want to get like a coffee in a coffee shop, and then they're just, what do you want? Like,
I guess it's a lot different too when you come here and then you see like, oh, people are kind of friendly, and then you go back home and you're like, oh, that was kind of cold. Like,
you're not gonna ask me how's my day?
And it's not even like it's not like it's malicious or anything. It's just it's not their thing, and that's just an interesting little difference too, like the dynamic and the differences, right?
Yeah.
What are some other ones that you kind of notice? Because like I know that one's a big one, but like, are there any ones that come to mind that you feel like are real differences?
I feel like the living space and definitely the space between people as well. Because in Hong Kong, everything's like skyscrapers. There's like condo everywhere, and everyone basically live in a condo space. So you don't have like much your own privacy or your own personal space. But in here, might be a lot of people who live in like apartment or house. But it just feels like the distance can make you feel secure. I don't know why I felt that way.
Like the distance, like away from people.
Yeah, because even from family, to be honest. I've heard that a lot. Like, a lot of my Hong Kong friends, they feel like back in Hong Kong, because we live so close to our family, like, everyone's room is so close.
Yeah.
You don't really have much privacy for your own. Like, your parents just right next to you. And that would feel weird, right?
I never thought of that, right?
Yeah.
Like, just the thought of just, like, kind of everyone's on top of each other like that, where you really feel like you don't even have the space to just... Be on your own. Yeah, do your own thing, kind of wise, and that's interesting. Like,
it's also funny about the family culture, because a lot of my friends said that family, like their relationship with the family, long distance is the best way to do it. And I was like, yeah, I see your point, because when we're living together, there's a lot of conflict.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, what would be a conflict, too? Like, parent and, like... And at what age, too, you think the conflict really starts?
I feel like usually when people are in high school or even in university. Yeah, like young adults.
I mean, it makes sense. You're becoming your own person and you want to kind of be expressive about that, too, at the same time. So, and, too, with, like, you said... Like how everyone over here is like way more expressive. I'm pretty sure like there's some sort of influence that may kind of rub off some sort of way where you're like, you're like, hey, I want to be, let people know how I'm feeling. So, yeah, that's just interesting.
Because we also didn't express our love to our family that much. Because I feel like a lot of people in here, their family is like friends to them. Like you can talk a lot to you.
In a sense, I do get what you mean. Like, for me, like, yes and no. I feel like as I've become an adult, my parents are kind of like my friends because we're cool and we can talk to each other like adults. But when I was younger, it was not like that at all.
Yeah.
My mom would deadass tell me, I'm not your friend. Like we ain't friends. Yeah. We are not the same size. I am your mom.
Yeah.
You are the child. There's levels to this. Understand that.
Yeah.
So I get what you mean where it's like over here it does kind of feel like, especially nowadays, I feel a lot of people, they want to be like best friends with their kids. So that I do understand where that feel could come in, and it's like positive and negative, because I feel sometimes when you do that, your kids don't respect you as the parent. They just look at you as one of their friends, and sometimes you don't want to be too strict where you pushing your kids away because like they just don't want to talk to you because they don't know how you're gonna react.
Exactly. Because I also have an older brother, and it was so funny that within my whole childhood, I think we barely talk in like 10 sentences, even we live together. Because first, he's a really quiet person.
Okay.
And then second, I feel like we didn't know how to communicate with each other or even to show our love to each other. So that's weird, but we are better now as adults.
Like, how far apart are you guys in, like, age?
4 years.
Oh, so it's not that far.
Yeah, but still, I don't know why, like, his still feels so distant for me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You think it's, like, a cultural thing, or, like, maybe it's just, like, you two?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Because some of my friends have even worse relationship than this,
Damn.
where they argue and they don't talk to each other for years. But they still live together, so that's
They
kind
live
of
together?
weird.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's kind of weird. Like a stranger living like a roommate.
I thought it was like, oh, yeah, like, okay, they live, like, far away. Like, you know, we don't talk no more. It was like, nah, we live in the same house.
Yep.
But fuck them, though. Like, it's like...
Exactly.
Oh,
that's the situation we have.
That's crazy. One thing, I've kind of become more of a language person recently.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I love language.
Yeah, I've been learning my Italione. Italione, yeah. I'm saying it wrong. Italiano.
It's
whatever.
time.
Yeah, whatever.
It's time for language.
Yeah, exactly.
Learning.
Yeah, so a question for you now, as a person, like you said, English is not your first language.
Yeah.
In case you guys didn't know, now you don't.
Sorry for my broken English.
So, like, what are the languages that you, like, grew up speaking back home?
So in Hong Kong, our first language is Cantonese. And then some people learn Mandarin throughout primary school or secondary school. That's how we call it. And I also know English since probably kindergarten.
Oh, wow.
Because I think quite a few people know these 3 languages.
Oh, okay.
But it depends on how hardworking you were as a kid to speak it well.
To keep it, yeah. No, I definitely get that, because, like, as I've been learning Italian, I can learn, I know words, I can read sentences, but it's very hard for me to, like, put together conversational sentences. Like.
Yeah, I totally get it, because I also learned Japanese when I studied in university, because I love anime, and I like watching, like, Japanese movies and stuff like that.
Like 4 languages. That's amazing.
I wish I, like, a master in Japanese, but no, it's still hard, so that's why I get...
It's like, you know enough to get around, or you're like me, where it's like, I can kind of get what you're saying, but I can't respond back to you.
I feel like I can do, like, daily conversation, like, easy stuff, but not, like, I can work there. Because that's, totally another level where you can
like,
do all the business talk.
Yeah, you really gotta have a real conversation, can be able to converse. Honestly, that's amazing. Like, could you say something for us in one of these languages? Just cause, like, we're showing off now.
Yeah, sure. In Cantonese, we say "nei hou."
Nei hou.
As hello.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nei hou.
And then in Mandarin, we say thank you as 谢谢.
谢谢.
Yeah, that's kind of easy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I heard that when I watched Rush Hour years ago. And it stuck in my head, so when you said that, I'm like, shit. I'm like, okay, all right.
You're like, I got this.
I got this. So it's like, I'm learning from the real Soo Young. Like,
yeah. I love that movie, though.
I know, cool. Right? Rush Hour? Great one. Oh, technical difficulties popping off on us. It's okay. It's okay. We're getting things together here, guys. All right. Now, a kind of question I like to ask everyone, like, when we come on here, is you got to get a little breakdown of, like, where you grew up, where you came from, and all this stuff. And, like, I kind of like to ask people, like, how they view, like, society as a whole, like, right now. Like, what are your thoughts on it? I remember you said before, when we were talking, like, you might get a little philosophical, and, like, this is your time.
Because I like all that stuff. Because the one thing about the society right now, I feel like it's so divided. No matter what places on earth I am, like, there's a lot of conflicts, there's a lot of people I feel like they stand on their opinion a lot. Like, they strictly stand on their opinion and not listening to each other.
Ah, okay.
That's why I feel like it's so divided.
I mean, I get what you mean, because there's almost like people can't see a middle ground.
Yeah.
It's like, it's either you think like me or you're totally wrong.
Yeah.
Instead of like, there's a little space in the middle where it's like two things can be true.
True.
And like I think that's like a big thing that I try to preach sometimes, because like you said, it's a world where people are just divided about anything. Like anything that makes you indifferent from someone else, it's a thing to divide us. But at the same time, I always say it's a big world, but it's very small at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
And nothing is new under the sun. So it's like everything that we do as human beings, we've been doing for like thousands of years.
Yeah.
So it's like once we kind of realize that, it should realize that we're more the same than we are different. So there should be less conflict, because we're all the same, but we got our differences
True.
at the same
so
time.
Probably not like just modern, like the world has been this way for years.
Yeah, it's always been like this. Like that's why like it's crazy when people say like, hey, times are getting so bad, it's so violent now, and I think I'm like, 100 years ago I could kill someone, go to another town, change my name by just saying my name is this now, and it's all good. So was it really better back then? It's like, when you think about things like that, and like that's what it's like, the improvements in just, I guess, society in those ways. But at the same time, when we look at it through our eyes, it's like, things are horrible right now.
Yeah.
So it's that weird kind of thing where it's like sometimes when you're it's like, you know this from playing basketball. When you're in the game, playing the game, it looks different than when you're on the side watching it.
Yeah.
Like,
when you're the audience, you're like, oh, you should do that, you should do that. But then when you're in the field, you're like, no.
Yeah, it's like, no, that doesn't make sense. I gotta go here. It's exactly like that, and I feel so. It's just one of those things that we're learning. We're getting better at as a people. I think slowly but surely, but it takes time. Like,
for the whole society to improve or to get better, it definitely take time.
Yeah.
And might not be the time where we can see that happens, but
I think as long as like you kind of spark the change, somewhere, like, where, because we all have things that we stand up for. Yeah. And if you can spark the change for like at least the conversation to be heard, and now there's just more conversation about it, that's just kind of the way you start that change that, like you said, maybe we'll never see. True. But at least we know we got the ball rolling.
Yeah, it's like baby steps.
Exactly. You got to crawl before you walk, and like, if we got to be the crawlers, then that's good enough.
True.
So there is, again, another question I love to ask everyone on the show here. Big on mental health. So like I always like to ask people a situation where they kind of had a little mental health struggle or hurdle, and like how did you kind of get through that?
Ooh, that's a good question, because I've been having years of depression. But I feel like I'm recovered right now.
Okay, that's great then. That's great.
Yeah, but I used to have time where I was suicidal.
Oh, fuck.
And I really hate myself. But I know it's kind of a heavy thing to say, but I used to be like that because my mom passed away a few years ago. It's okay now, but yeah, I used to feel like I don't know how to love. And I don't know how to don't have the guilt to didn't treat her like that. Like, I mean, not like in a bad way. It's just I feel like I could have do more at that time or something like that.
I see. What I've noticed, like, hindsight's 2020, right? Because like I've had to deal with losing loved ones, and it's never easy, and it's always like I always say it's like a scar. It's a wound that never really heals, but it leaves a mark that stays there. And when we look back, we always think, oh, we could have did this and we could have did that. We should have been there. We have been there for them. And it's like, it's hard to kind of have that survivor's guilt, like you were saying.
Yeah.
And it's good that, like, you kind of found your ways through it. Like, what are ways that kind of help you through that? Because, like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have dealt with these kind of situations.
Yeah. So for me, I they like music and sports. Like the two things that we talked about did help because I went to the gym like 4 to 5 days a week and try my best to like do all the lift weighting and do cardio. And I also found that metal music helped me to
like, that metal
get
mash.
all the depression and stress away.
I guess because it's so like
yeah,
like, you
it's
just
a
want
lot
to
of
scream. Like,
exactly.
And sometimes we just want to scream. Like we're going through life. Like I know I'd be sitting here sometimes when things are hard. I'm just a random yell just because I'm just like I need to just get it out. So that actually makes a lot of sense. True. So hey, if you feeling mad, play some metal. Like
say some metal. Just scream.
Yeah, you know that works. I love that. I love that. So like
yeah, but like a big tip, I guess, is try not to be alone all the time.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
huge.
that make it worse. But I know that I understand that it's hard sometimes when you're depressed. You just wanna lie in your bed and do nothing. But I feel like friends or family can be your big support if you're going through some really sad shit.
I definitely agree because like even with me going through what I went through, like obviously I had like a little bit of a depression. Like I don't know if we ever talked about this, like because like I got shot, like that's why I got into jail. So it's like going through that and like being from an able-bodied person or disabled person, you're definitely gonna have a time where you hit this depressional stage where
I understand that.
It was hard. Like sometimes I'd wake up, like I've said this before here and here, where I'd wake up and look at my chair and kind of just cry because it was just like an immediate realization of how different your life is.
Yeah.
And it was hard to accept and deal with. But the crazy thing is like, time kind of makes things a little bit easier always. Yeah. And like I said, and positive distractions. Like you were saying, like with the gym, like that's a great one because you kind of get those was it endorphins, I believe it is, or whatever the hell whatever they're called. But that happy feeling from working out where you feel like all right, you've accomplished something. Yeah. And that's always great, and like you said, and then having a good support system around that, like
Yeah.
Because when you're in your head all the time, you can drive yourself crazy because you be thinking so many thoughts, and then once you say it to someone else, and then they'll look at you like, no, it's not like that. And you're like, oh, wow, I guess I was just overthinking it.
Yeah, because some of my friends also like feel upset sometimes and feel like they're like a burden to someone if they talk to their friends.
Really? That's interesting. And are these like friends that you've met here or like friends from like back home?
Back home. Because some of my friends also move here. Yeah. So like when we share stuff, we feel like, sometimes we feel like we're a burden to just share our own feelings to people.
And I feel a lot of people probably feel that way in general because it's like even when you are outside and like or even when people are with their friends and like they say like, oh, how you doing? Oh yeah, I'm good. When maybe they're really not.
Yeah.
But like
I'm okay.
Yeah, it's like and sometimes we gotta be like, fuck, I'm not doing the greatest right now. Yeah. And talk about it because it's healthy to kind of get it out, like, instead of bottling all that stuff up.
Yeah. Especially I think if he's your best friend, your good friend, they're gonna listen anyway.
Exactly. Like, I've had some of my friends, I've known them since like, since we were like in kindergarten or something.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, we've been down for like... almost like 2+ decades at least, and when they come by and we sit down and we have conversations, sometimes it's the best because it's like so freeing that like I can like actually talk to my friends and like I know that they're not gonna judge me because
exactly,
like we done been through it all, seen it all, and we just love each other at this point, like because you can't be with someone around someone for that long and not like care enough to not judge even if you don't agree with whatever they're doing or going through. So it's always beautiful to have that, and it's great that you had that in that time frame because because
my friend also has a saying that friend is your chosen family. I love that saying a lot.
For real. Like you choose them to be around and you're just stuck like me and my homies that like similar stuff with kindergarten way we met was when we were in class. Had orange slices, and for some reason, I don't fucking know why, I thought you were supposed to eat the orange peel, and then they're looking at me like, bruh, you know you're not supposed to eat that.
Yeah.
And then we've been friends ever since.
That's a sweet story.
I know, right?
From like an orange pill that you shouldn't have eaten.
To lifelong friends. Like.
Yeah. That's the small things that makes this happen.
Right? It's always funny when you think about it. I'm like, whenever we have the conversation, I bring it up to them and they just laugh. They're like, yeah, bro, I don't know why you were doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, one thing I do want to get into, like, you know, because we met on set.
Yeah.
And you are the camera woman.
Yeah.
You know? Let's talk about your love for the camera, shooting, the graphic design. Like, how'd you get into that? Like, what made you draw to that?
That's also a funny topic because I used to study creative writing.
Oh.
So I'm more like a person who express my feelings through words.
Okay.
But then, I don't know why, like, after I got into graphic design, I started learning it. I feel like, maybe the art form of graphic design or even drawings can help me express myself more.
Oh, okay.
And that's how I got into all like drawings, graphic design stuff.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So like when you're shooting with your camera, like how do you get like your artistic like flow out when like you're not really like shooting things of yourself, or like, you know, how does that work for you? Like, because it's like, you know, you're capturing something else and obviously the beauty in something else, but
for me it's about that moment, like that one click, because on set I use digital camera, but like usually in day life I use film camera.
Okay.
So it's more like, if you don't develop it, you don't scan the film, you don't know what's in it, and it's just all about the moment that you click.
I see why you said that it's about the click, like, because especially when you think about it in the film sense, like, you know, you get the pictures when you get them, and it's like, you know, you never know what you're gonna get, and at the same time it's like when you do get that beautiful shot, I don't know, it probably hits different, like, you know.
Exactly, and the texture of film is the thing that I'm obsessed with it.
Like when you're holding it, or like when you're looking at it?
I think it's when you finally got the developed film, like the scan one, like the negative film that you can hold on.
So are you like in like the dark room, like sending them like pictures and everything?
I mean, I want to try it sometimes too, like developing my own film, but I usually just take it to camera store and then wait for like 7 days or something like that.
Okay, yeah. See, you gotta hit up YouTube University again, you know, and just be like, all right, this is how we do it. We're getting a little dark room on, you know, a little red light, something like that. Oh man.
But I got into like photography probably after I finished high school.
Okay.
Because usually when we go to university, like before we get into university, we have like a huge like summer break, and people usually go traveling. They probably develop some hobbies that they like, and I just found photography is really fascinating
and
for
just
me
kind of
at
just
that time.
stuck.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the ones that are really like our passions. That's how they kind of do. They grab us, and you're just like, I don't know. This is what I like to do.
I also like taking portraits, photos. I think that's a really cool thing about it. It's about people.
Because like when you take a portrait of somebody, right, it can tell so many stories. Like, you know, just depending on just the angle, the shots, their facial expression. Yeah,
and all the lighting and stuff also tells a lot in like a picture.
See, I mean, they do say a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yeah, that's how I think.
So it makes sense how you went from writing the words down to be like, I can fit so many more words in this one picture.
Yeah, visually probably can express more.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I love that. Now, one thing I do kind of want to a little bit double back when you were talking about this, like you kind of getting through that little like depressive phase that you had. What were some things that you kind of used in that, like, because I'm a big believer of there's a beauty behind the pain, and there's always something that kind of helps push you forward, and like, so like what's like the positive that you took out of the negative?
I feel like definitely the support from your family and friends, of course, because I feel like there are people is like the thing that helped me to keep moving on.
Okay.
And I feel like we also learn a lot about losing our loved ones, is to cherish the one that you still have.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I love that, because I know how you feel, you know, 'cause like I said, recently I also a loved one of mine, and that was kind of the vibe of the atmosphere I feel afterwards, like, you know, going through the whole thing. It was like, you had to appreciate the people that you still have around, because you just never really know, right? That's just how life works. Like, the weird cliches, like your life can change in a second, like, you know, you never think that's real until it happens, and you're like, oh wow, it can really be like that.
And to cherish every moment, every day.
I mean, I always say the only thing we really have in life is moments, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, it's the only thing you can kind of keep with you and take with you that
Yeah.
no one can take from you.
Yeah, and you never know. Yeah, and you never know like what happened tomorrow or next second. So
gotta enjoy it. Gotta live it up.
yeah, that's my takeaway.
I love that. I love that. See, you're dropping some gems on us today. You know, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So, like, kind of getting close to the wind down here. You know, and this is like our time to like plug yourself. So whatever you're doing that you want the people to know, you know, this is the time to let them know, you know.
That's nice.
Any socials or anything like that, or just let them know what you got coming
yeah,
up.
Sure. So I'm actually also trying to practice tattooing.
Oh shit! Oh.
So I have like a tattooing account.
Oh, I didn't know this. I'm gonna tap in, because you know I got a love, as you can see.
Yeah. So it's called Medium Wear.
Okay,
AIFF.
We're gonna put that in here, right here.
Yep. And if you want to see like all my photography, you can see in like 13 desks. That is like my photography account.
Yeah, we're gonna put that right here. You know, we're gonna
Yeah.
put that up there. All right, now we're gonna talk more about this tattoo thing after we shut this off.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I love that, and clearly you're keeping your creative juices flowing any way you can. You know, and that's beautiful. Yeah. It's beautiful. Again, Casey, thank you for coming through. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. And
my pleasure.
Oh, no. It's mine, trust me. You know, it's not easy to get people to talk about themselves.
Yeah,
so
it's hard sometimes.
I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. And to all you people out there in YouTube, TV land, or you know, wherever you're watching this, especially if it's YouTube and you made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Like, you know, help me out. That'd be nice.
Yay.
You know, and yeah, we'll see you again.
See you.